That is enough said.
What's up, Heat Nation? Happy Friday, guys. Your boy Ernest here. Back with another Miami Heat Talk video. You know what I'm going to ask you guys, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Support the channel. Like, share, subscribe. We're pushing to 6,000 subscribers. Now, together, let's go on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. Now, just a reminder, you guys, the Heat do have a game tomorrow against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Game 3 of the first round in the playoffs. So, Heat are down 2-0. This is a make-it-break-it game. We're back at home. We're at the Kaseya Center. You're going to have over 18,000 people screaming and supporting you. The Miami Heat need to answer the call and win this game. If the Heat win tomorrow, you guys, it's a series. But if we lose, chances are the series is over. Now, one thing I will say, I do believe in this Miami Heat team still. Not because of delusion or anything like that, but simply because they've shown that they can compete with Cleveland. They've shown a lot of times during these games that they can catch a lead, they can stay there with them. Problem is, they can't hold these leads. And that's been the problem with the Heat all season long. Now, you can't deny Cleveland, man. They're a first team. There's a reason why these teams are a first seed for a reason. Look at last night, the game against Memphis and Oklahoma. Memphis as an 8th seed, up 29 points. You're thinking, all right, go back to the drawing board, get them in game 4. But nah. OKC came back 29 down and won that game. There's a reason why Cleveland and Oklahoma are the first seed. These are one of the best regular season teams in the NBA. And it's not just a regular season team. They're proving they're dominating in the playoffs. So the Miami Heat need to come out guns blazing. We need to come out ready to fight, and we need to come out ready to win. And a few little tidbits I will say. Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo need to step up to the challenge. Real talk, man. I mean, Darius Garland calls out Tyler Hero and saying the way that they can play clean basketball is if they attack Tyler. And if I'm Tyler Hero, I'm watching that, and I am trying to get so motivated for this game. I want to see if Tyler Hero is going to let those comments piss him off and get to a level like Dwayne Wade got when he got mad. Tyler Hero dominated last game, 33 points. There's not more that you can ask from Tyler Hero. That's the type of game we need from Tyler Hero. And if you noticed, when Tyler Hero was balling last game, we made it competitive. Tyler hits a shot with 4.5 minutes left, puts the Heat down by 2. We were there. But it's like I've mentioned before. The only way this Miami Heat team can win the series is if everyone plays to perfection. So when Tyler drops a 30 bomb like that, you need Bam Adebayo to get 20. You need Andrew Wiggins to get around 20 to 25. I know that Bam Adebayo had almost a triple-double last game, but 3 for 9 for the field, 11 points, trash. I need Kel'el Ware to play more minutes, man. I understand that Spo was playing Nikola Jovic and played Nikola for the entirety of the fourth quarter, and I get that Nikola Jovic brings versatility and size. I like Nico out there. But you need to find the right lineup, you need to find right consistency, and you need to put your best players out there. And this is going to go to my highlight of the comment from yesterday's video from Solrak Blonde 9480. Solrak is always commenting on my comments, a huge supporter. I really appreciate your support. This is something I want to do for you guys, my way of saying thank you. But this is what Solrak wrote. Ernest, my friend, Coach Spo found 7 players that work against the Cavs. Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, Andrew Wiggins, Bam, Kel'el Ware, Haywood Highsmith, Nikola Jovic, Jovic and Duncan Robinson when Hero gets a breather. Hero needs to respond to Garland. We will get them at home. Go Heat. I love that positivity. I love it. And that's what I want to see from Heat Nation. Not this whole give it up mentality. Oh, we're done. No. You're only down 2-0. I get it. I get it. Times are bleak. I get it. We're most likely going to lose this series. But it doesn't mean you give up. It doesn't mean you stop fighting. It doesn't mean you quit. And that's not just with basketball. That's with anything in life. If you're dealing with a sickness, if you're dealing with a bad relationship, if you're dealing with a stressful job, if you're dealing with anything in your life that just causes you stress, are you going to quit? Are you just going to give up like a little bitch? No. You keep your head up, you move forward, you fight, You tough it out and you hope for positive results. Because in this world, the only thing that we can control is how we react to things, is how we deal with things. You can't control the situation that's in front of you, but you can control how you handle it. Remember that, you guys. And remember that, Heat Nation. Because if we want our team to win, if we truly want this team to shock the world, we need to believe it ourselves. Remember that, you guys. Now, I'm talking about all this with Game 3, and I'm getting excited for Game 3, and I'm almost forgetting what the topic of this video was going to be. Now, I wanted to do one half about Game 3. You guys know my thoughts. I talked about it in yesterday's episode as well. But today I want to diverse because there's no game tonight. So the topic I want to talk about today is a specific player that the Miami Heat have. And I want to talk about Terry Rozier. Why do I want to talk about Terry Rozier, you guys? Well, a few reasons. Terry Rozier is a dark spot on this Miami Heat roster. And I was taking a moment because I wanted to pull up his salary. I didn't have it in front of me. The Miami Heat traded for Terry Rozier last year. Doing that, we traded Kyle Lowry and a future first-round draft pick, which would be the 2027 first-round draft pick, which is lottery protected. So that has gone to the Charlotte Hornets. It was a stupid trade on our half. Hindsight being 2020, you're seeing what that trade was. It was a bad trade. You made that trade because after the 2023 season, you failed on getting Damian Lillard on the team in the offseason, and during midseason, you had to do something. You had to make a change. So the Miami Heat traded for Terry Rozier. And the reason why they traded for Terry Rozier, you guys, was because he was balling. He was balling in Charlotte. Dude in Charlotte, when he was traded to the Heat, he played 30 games in the Charlotte Hornets. He was averaging 23.2 points a game, 6.6 assists, 46% from the field, and 36% from the three-point line. You got him because you needed offensive firepower next to Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero. When you traded for Terry Rozier, you saw a little glimpse of hope. Tyler Hero was injured though, so when Terry came, Tyler wasn't in the team, so there wasn't getting acclimated. Then Tyler came back, then Tyler got injured again, then Terry got injured. It was just a sea of crap last year. So you couldn't get Tyler Hero, Terry Rozier, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo together. So the 2024 season ended. Jimmy Butler and Terry Rozier were hurt. So you're thinking, all right, let's move on. This year, you're hoping that Terry Rozier can take that next step, can be that offensive presence. The 31 games that he played in Miami when he was traded here last year, he played 31 games, averaged 16.5 points a game, 4.2 rebounds, and 4.6 assists. And you're thinking, okay, not so great, but not terrible at the same time. This season, Terry Rozier with the Miami Heat has played 64 games, started 23 of those games, 10.6 points a game, 3.7 rebounds, 2.6 assists. 39% from the field, 29.5% from the three-point line. These are not numbers that I would call good numbers. These are numbers that I would call okay numbers. And you know what? If Terry Rozier was making about $8 to $10 million, I don't think any of us would be angry. But the fact that Terry Rozier is making $24.5 million and is now getting to a point where he's not even playing, it's getting a little bit embarrassing. It's getting embarrassing, and obviously, Heat fans, we regret making that trade. Because not only has Terry Rozier been underperforming here, but you traded Kyle Lowry, who was on an expiring contract. So last year, instead of having cap flexibility when the season ended, you were stuck with Terry Rozier, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, and Bam Adebayo's massive contract. So we were completely stuck. There was nothing that we could do. We were stuck with Terry Rozier. And that's exactly what's happened this season, you guys. Because when you look at a situation like a Jaime Jaquez, who's had a bad sophomore year, but in the last game of the season dropped 41 points, that increases value. So the last game of the season, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, and Wiggins weren't playing. So you're thinking Terry Rozier is going to show out. Terry Rozier is going to show his true value. In that game against the Washington Wizards, he played 34 minutes, scored a whopping 2 points on 11% for the field. Trash. I don't know if it's this whole NBA investigating thing on Terry Rozier. For those of you that don't know, he's being investigated by the NBA for point shaving. Apparently, the investigation is not closed, but it's not at a point where he's going to be banned from the NBA as of now. Now, things can change, but for all you know, Terry Rozier's been on his head about that. But when you watch these games that he plays, you guys, there's these games where he's just throwing up turnovers, shooting up air balls. It looks like he's intentionally doing bad to get the under in these sports betting apps. So I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if it's regression. I don't know if he's not happy in Miami. There's something that's going on. But what I'm realizing and what I can tell every one of you, and I'm sure that all of us can agree, this dude does not fit on this team. So, here's the good news. Next year is Terry Rozier's final year in this contract. He will be making a whopping $25 million. Guys, he doesn't even play. Duncan Robinson was at that level a few years ago. And that's one thing I love about Spo. Spo doesn't care how much money you make. Spo's not going to play you based on your contract. Spo's going to play you based on what you do. We saw that a few years ago when Max Strus took Duncan Robinson's job. You saw that now when Davion Mitchell was traded here. Terry Rozier became an afterthought because Davion is way better, making way less money. Crazy. But I will say this, you guys, with Terry Rozier being on the final year of his contract, the Miami Heat are going to have a few options this offseason. The first option, and everyone is saying, trade Terry. Trade him. Awesome. All of us want Terry Rozier traded. Chances are, who the hell is going to pick up that contract? Because if you're going to trade Terry Rozier, you're adding him as a piece for a potential superstar level player. Now look, I'll say this. Let's say if the Heat trade for Kevin Durant. The only way a team will take Terry Rozier is if they're in a situation that they're trying to rebuild and get cap flexibility. So look at Phoenix Suns' situation. The reason why I mentioned Phoenix is because there's been a lot of rumors recently between Phoenix and Miami for Kevin Durant to come to Miami this offseason. So let's say if a trade is worked. If Phoenix is trading Kevin Durant, they've already accepted the fact that this Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, and Devin Booker thing didn't work. So they're trying to get cap flexibility because they're stuck with Bradley Beal. So if Phoenix pulls a trade with Miami where you trade, let's say, Andrew Wiggins, Terry Rozier, throw in Jaime Jaquez, and add in like a future first-round draft pick, maybe two, just as an example. Now what Phoenix can do, they can buy out Terry Rozier. They can buy him out and get that cap off their books. They can hold him for a year and wait for his contract to expire. But the Heat can do that too. And this is one thing I think is going to happen, you guys. I don't think there's going to be a suitor for Terry Rozier. And I think the Miami Heat are going to have to buy him out. Problem is, this is the final big contract Terry Rozier is going to have. How much of that $25 million would he be willing to give up? Would you have to give him the whole thing? Would you have to negotiate a certain number? That doesn't matter. The Heat are going to have flexibility with Terry Rozier. They're going to try to trade him. I know that. But they might be stuck with him. And if they're stuck with him, they have two options. Keep him for the season or buy him out. And if he's bought out, then he can sign with another team for a minimum contract, get his money with Miami. But in closing, you guys, this was probably one of the worst trades in Miami Heat history. At the time, it didn't seem that bad. But now it's pretty horrible. Pat Riley has not been making the best decisions the last few years. Not able to put a superstar next to Jimmy Butler after the 2020 bubble run. Striking out on multiple superstar level players like Kevin Durant, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and recently Damian Lillard. And the trade that you made to sell Jimmy Butler on a title run was this effing guy. Pat Riley needs to make some moves this offseason, and the moves need to be the right moves. So let me know what you think in the comments, Heat Nation. Do you think the Miami Heat will be able to move Terry Rozier, or do you think they're going to have to buy him out? Let me know in the comments your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe as we continue our push for 6,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much for the continued support. And until next time, your boy Ernest out, and that is enough said.